I think that the world contains so much for us to see, so much life, so much love, so much things for us to sort of gain, not in a selfish way, but in a, present way. I feel like in a world of possibility, the most important thing we have to do is choose ourselves. There's so much out here, there's so much potential, so much things to be curious about, so many things to involve yourself with. And you have to keep on choosing yourself repeatedly. And that just means being a friend, realizing that your life is yours to live and you have to live in your own world in more ways than one. Not everyone's going to share the same perspective, and it doesn't have to make sense to everyone. It just has to make sense to you. It's about holding yourself accountable for your own sort of life and your own standards, you know, in a sense of like morality and whatnot. It's just about understanding yourself and how you interact with the world, keeping an open eye to see your mistakes, to see your flaws, to see everything, and learn how to accept all the things that come with it. Because I feel like once you get to that point of accepting yourself, all negative and positive, that's when you can start to actually change. And previously, I shared that thought, I shared that sentiment, but without the present thinking. And I found myself, you know, having the knowledge at my disposal, but unable to digest it and truly integrate it into everything I wanted to do. And the main thing I did to actually start applying it was start applying it. Realize that there doesn't have to be some sort of grand way to implement something. Live by what it is in how it's expressed now, whatever it can bring to you now. And in saying that, I mean, like, with a quote like, he who thinks the journey is over is truly lost. You don't know what your end goal is. You don't know what necessarily you have to do in the very moment. It's just about being in that moment. Realizing that whatever you do and everything you do contributes to your life, contributes to everything that you sort of care about, the things that you are and the things that you will be. So it's important to be present now and understand that any power you have now and any control you have over the future isn't governed by the future, and it isn't governed by the past. It's governed by right now. There is no such thing as a past or a future, because everything was the present. Everything is the present. It's the only moment we have to actually exercise who we are. And that's why I feel like it's important to not get taken away from that. In a time where our attention's constantly zapped away from us, and things are sort of out here that sort of distract us from things that are really happening. But choose yourself. I think that sometimes it gets difficult to sort of choose yourself, because that's sort of the disciplined approach in my perspective. It's kind of difficult to constantly say to yourself, oh, you need to do this or you need to do that. And that's why I sort of flipped it, and I think I got it from David Goggins, but like, I get to do this, or I'm going to do this, instead of making it seem like a chore, but make it seem like it's an opportunity. Regardless of whether or not you like doing it is beyond me, but what's the point in suffering if you don't have to? I find that a lot of times it's a matter of our perspective that allows us to be in the present and truly be within. If we're constantly in a place and we're wishing we're somewhere else, then we can never appreciate where we're standing. It's about appreciating where you are and having an optimistic view as to where you're going. It's not for you to decide. It's not for you to map out. The path is created by walking. That doesn't mean you know exactly how it's going to end and how it's going to go. All you have to do is continue your walk. And that's why I feel like it's important to walk the path and not chase the outcome. Chasing the outcome, I feel like we miss a lot of opportunities and signs that lead us to our goal, that lead us to wherever we want to go. And when it comes to ourselves, trying to run towards the goal is just, I don't know. I feel like it neglects part of ourselves. I feel like a lot of times we as people try to heal everything at once. We try to become this perfect person immediately, and I feel like that's not necessarily impossible. I wouldn't count that out for anybody, but I would say that I find it a lot more easy to focus on each and every intricate part of yourself. Focus on what's seeking out change, and through doing that, understand how to make more change within yourself. To me, that looks like, if you're being present, just adding on little bits and pieces to that presence. If you're being present, try to remind yourself to be grateful, to practice any type of affirmation, practice having affection for yourself and the world around you. Because at the end of the day, it's you and you. You're the only person that is here with you 100% of the time, so you might as well enjoy that time spent. If you learn to love yourself and enjoy your own company, then you could never be bored. Then you could never have a situation where you feel like something's unbefitting for you. Of course, I have those moments where I'm like, oh, I wish I was somewhere else, oh, blah, blah, blah. It's cool to acknowledge that stuff. It's cool to be there, but it's not cool to live in it. Because the only thing you can truly live in is the present moment. So if you're constantly taking it away from yourself by referencing things that do not exist, because, there is no should or could have, in my opinion. Only things you have done and things that have happened. You can't control what hasn't happened. You can't control what didn't happen. The only thing you can control is yourself. You can have influence over a situation, but the most influence you can have is only gained by being present. That's why I feel like it is utterly important. You can't truly, I think, heal and change as a person if you're not trying to be present with yourself. Because you're not seeing the things that you need to do to change the things you want to change. If you can't acknowledge the wound, then you can't heal it. If you're constantly ignoring it and you're just getting scraped up, bumped, and bruised, and you're trying to run to your end goal, then a lot of times when you get to that end goal, you have to focus on healing so much that you can't appreciate where you are. That's why I feel like it's important to take each step. To take each step carefully and intentionally. Not necessarily holding in mind that you have to do something or you have to do something that contributes to your goal, but doing something that contributes to yourself. And the biggest thing that you can do to contribute to yourself is one, choose yourself, and two, be present with yourself. All you have to do in life, I think, is be you. Just understand what you like, what you want to do in a general sense. Try it out. If you don't like it, try something new and keep doing that process until you find what you need. The world gives us a lot of times what we need and not necessarily what we want. We may think our vision, our dream, or something looks a specific way, but I don't think that that's necessarily within our control. It may be within our influence in a sense, but that's in the sense of understanding that if you truly desire something and truly want something, then why can't it be possible? Why can't it? He who thinks he can and he who thinks I can't are both correct. And to know it's humanly possible means you too can do it. I feel like those two quotes really got me through a lot of things when it comes to achieving anything. I do say, like, a man shouldn't be marked by his achievement. Nobody should be marked by this, that, and the other. But when we are going towards our goals, going towards our dreams and aspirations, it's important to make them real. It's important to instill a little reality within our dreams to make them come into reality. If you're constantly acknowledging how something isn't real, how something won't happen, how something's impossible, the improbability of everything, then it's very hard for things to line up and work in a way that's befitting for you. I feel like once you stop creating those gaps between you and your goals, you and your ideals, and you and your ideal self, that's when it can emerge. That's when it can emerge. And that's why it means to, like, say that letting go is what makes it stay. Letting go of your expectation, letting go of your constant hard analysis of yourself. It's about having trust and faith within yourself, but also realizing you do have things that you need to work on. And that's not a bad thing. I don't think anybody could ever get to a point where they don't have something they need to work on, because there's always event scenarios and situations that bring out new parts of us. They bring out things that we can do better. And just because you're improving upon something doesn't make it bad. If you get a new phone, that doesn't mean your old phone is a bad phone. It just means you're upgrading. And a lot of times we just need to upgrade ourselves. Realize that who we are isn't a stagnant thing, but it's ever improving. It's a constant continual progression, and it's something that allows us to, I think, be human. That allows us to interact and embrace our true nature in a sense. And to me, that's just being us. Holding on to your individuality so fervently that you become connected with everyone. And I know that doesn't really make sense, but I think in a way, a lot of us are connected and a lot of things are connected. And that's why I think videos like this can sort of apply to so much in the world around us, because it's just so important for each and every one of us to realize our own potential and realize that we can do pretty much anything our minds can imagine. It's sort of unrealistic to call something impossible if it's been done before. And I think a lot of us have goals and aspirations that have been done before, but that's not to say that it's unoriginal or ingenuine. Each and every person's journey is very different. Nobody does anything the exact same way, and it's important to realize your own flavor. The thing that you add to each and every one of your actions, sort of remnants of your character that allow things to be you. It's just important to acknowledge what that is and what that brings, and learn to appreciate each and every individual part of yourself. And once you get to that point, once you learn to appreciate and accept who you are, then I think it's super easy to accept others for who they are. Because at the end of the day, what they do is not in reference to you, and what you do is not in reference to them. You have to be the subject to your own story, and sometimes things aren't inherent to your character, and sometimes things aren't inherent to a situation. They're just inherent to how someone thinks about themselves. I think that a lot of things are a mirror, and I think we're a mirror in a lot of ways too. I think the way we react to the world, the way we express ourselves to other people, and a lot of things in that regard are just a reflection of how we feel about ourselves deep down. And that's not to say everybody dislikes themselves or something like that, but I find that what aggravates us most in other people is the things that remind us of the bad parts of ourselves. It's about realizing that you have to love yourself. And I say that almost in every video, but you have to really appreciate who you are and appreciate everything you've done to get to this point. Realize that, your strength of character isn't judged by you not getting hurt, by you never being scarred. It's judged by you constantly healing yourself and you constantly moving forward. It's about the small triumphs you make each and every day to be you. And sometimes it's hard to be yourself. Sometimes it's hard to stand on who you are, but I feel like that's the most important thing we can do, because that leads us to the life that's befitting of us and for us. At the end of the day, all you have to be is you, and at the end of the day, you have to choose yourself. In a world full of possibility, choose you. Choose yourself. Be there for yourself and understand that, you get into certain situations, you get into certain events where you feel like you're torn, you feel like you have to do something here and there for this person, for that person, for this. And it's not necessarily saying drop other people, be narcissistic. Of course, do what you need to do, but do what would make you feel best at the end of the day. And if that is sacrificing a little bit of yourself for another person, then go ahead. But realize when you're spreading yourself too thin. I feel like a lot of us invest ourselves in other people, and invest ourselves in other situations without realizing we're taking away, our own power by taking ourselves away from the present and putting ourselves in someone else's reality that we don't even know about. Because 99% of who we are is an internal thing. And I feel like if you really open your eyes and realize that about other people, then you have no idea what's really going on. So it's not smart at all to make, I wouldn't say not smart at all. Sometimes it's good to infer about what other people are thinking, but it's unrealistic to ground any reality in that which is not you. I don't mean be selfish in any way or narcissistic in any way. I'm saying realize that to help people or to interact with people, to understand people better, the best thing you can do is understand yourself. Understand why you do the things you do. And once you get to that point, you'll start to see why other people do the things they do. It's not important to take it personal. It's important to let it go. It's important to recognize what things are not you and what things are. and choose the things that are you. Because at the end of the day, it's night. I'm playing. I'm joking. But at the end of the day, really just choose yourself. I feel like it's very important for us to try to be a friend to ourselves and understand that if we're going to grow, you know, you have to be the one to help yourself. Not saying you can't get help from other people, but saying before you heal a man, make sure he's willing to give the things that make him sick. You have to make sure you're not poisoning yourself with your own mentality sometimes, and sort of patting yourself on the back and cheering for yourself whenever you get the opportunity. So if you made it this far in the video, I'm proud of you. Thank you guys for all the support and all the love I've been getting. It's very new, but thank you all. I'm gonna try to stream sooner or later, but I'm trying to get caught up and get ready to go back to my educational system. So thank you. Keep being y'all. Keep being great. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. And thank you.